Hey, welcome to another session of Conversations. You've heard me say before, Conversations is established that you may be educated, emancipated, and empowered so that you can live the life you were born to live. What kind of life is that? It's the kingdom life. And today,
Excuse me.
what's up, man? What's up?
This is our show today, which means that we're doing the introduction. Hello, everyone, and welcome to
I've been hijacked.
and welcome to this week's youth edition of Conversation, where we're interviewing our great bishop, Dr. Gregory Maurice Fuller, and I'll let my co-panel introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Rita Way, and I've been a member of Macedonia Church of Augusta for 18 years.
Hello, I'm Angel Evans, and I've been a member of Macedonia Church of Augusta for maybe 15 years.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Dubois II, and I've been a member of Macedonia for 17 years.
Hello, I am Bishop Gregory Fuller, and I've been pastor of Macedonia for 23 years this September.
All right, y'all. So now we're about to get into Bishop Fuller's business.
Oh,
So
Lord. Oh,
let's
Lord.
spill the tea.
All of it.
So first, Bishop, first question is, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Buffalo, New York, but I was born in Selma, Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What are your family dynamics? How many brothers or sisters? do
I
you
have two younger brothers. One is 2 years younger than me. The other one is 6 years younger than me. My mother passed away. My father is still living in Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
You traveled to Alabama often to see your grandmother, and you were very fond of her. What were the differences between the North and the South?
Oh, big difference. Let me go this way. Selma, Alabama. Okay, I know I'm gonna get in trouble, but Selma, Alabama has not changed very much from when probably my mother was a teenager. The North, of course, living in New York, there's more activity. There's more, as Buffalo, there's more activity. There's more cultural events to take place. It's like the difference between maybe Atlanta and maybe a small town in South Georgia, something like that. Maybe Atlanta and Tifton. That's a good example. So just a big difference between Selma, Alabama and Buffalo, New York.
Okay. When you were growing up, were you active, which is a code word for bad?
Y'all gonna pay for this. No, I wasn't bad. I was probably what they would call mischievous or mischievous. I did hang around, some brothers that were not real Christian. And I did some probably not so real Christian things. But I wasn't evil. I mean, when it's a little different now. Bad right now is, you carrying a gun and you're selling drugs and all that kind of stuff. We did none of that. I mean, we didn't. If you had a knife, you were somebody everybody stayed away from. I mean, we fought, but we fought with our hands. And then, the people that we fought with, one of my best friends was somebody I got into a fight with because we could make up and we became friends and that kind of thing. So, I was mischievous and that kind of thing. I hung out in the street, did my stuff, but it was not anything like what you would call bad to them.
So misunderstood.
I was misunderstood. Thank you, brother. That's it, man. My man. Thank you for the help. I was misunderstood.
But were you one of the ones that everybody stayed away from?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't the person everybody stayed away from. People knew I liked to fight. I would fight. And so I wasn't bad. I was misunderstood. No, we fought. I mean, that's what we did. We fought, but I wasn't a person that people stayed away from. Had a lot of friends. People wanted to be friends because they knew I was loyal. If I'm your friend, and I'm going to fight for you. If you get into a fight, you're my friend. I'm down with you. Who we gonna get?
Not to mess with you.
Well, if they did, because I was thin too. I was tall and thin, so they would try me, but I would pick up a brick. I'm not telling y'all what to do now. I mean, I would just, whatever it took to win, that's what I did. And so a lot of the persons that were my friends because they knew that if they got into something, I had their back. I'm gonna fight with them. So yeah, that's where it was.
That's a true friend.
That's a true friend. That's it. Ride or die. I was ride or die before ride or die became ride or die. Yeah.
Okay, so we all know that your nickname is Snoopy. Why were you given that nickname?
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. You all don't know anything about this, but we used to carry lunch boxes to school. All right, I had this metal lunch box, and my metal lunch box was Snoopy. It was Snoopy, the peanuts, Charlie Brown peanuts. And so it was Snoopy. Now, my 5th grade teacher, Miss Harris, because I loved that lunchbox and I would just kind of hold that 5th grade, and my 5th grade teacher started calling me Snoopy. And, Snoopy, go to the board and that kind of thing. And she was just as a joke. But then it went from Snoopy in 5th grade to Snoop in 6th grade, just for short. So people get the young people friends started calling me Snoop. It just stuck.
So you like your nickname?
It was my nickname. it was my nickname. And then in high school, I was Sir Snoop-a-Lot. It was just crazy. Don't worry about it. I was, had that on my jacket. It was Sir Snoop-a-Lot. Yeah.
I didn't get to that.
Well, because crazy because I used to like remember Lancelot, y'all don't know King Arthur. Oh Jesus.
I've heard of King Arthur.
King Arthur, and and so I used to like the knights of the Round Table, that kind of thing. And so it became just Sir Lancelot. Sir Snoop-a-Lot, I'm sorry, from Sir Lancelot, that kind of thing. So it was Sir Snoop-a-Lot. So when I on basketball court, had it on my jacket and that kind of thing, they would introduce me, and coming out now, Sir Snoop-a-Lot. It was just kind of cool. That's all. That's it.
So we obviously know you haven't been an adult all your life. You was once a teenager like us.
Mhm.
Misunderstood teenager, but a
Misunderstood.
teenager.
There you go.
So what kind of student were you in high school?
I was a good student. I really was. I got really good grades. I helped a lot of my friends too, with school, even in college. What you say?
You never fight.
I helped them fight, but I got good grades too. But so persons would come to me and for me to help them with their tests and pre-tests and that kind of thing. Even in college, even with my master's, one of my friends, we went to undergrad together, and then we went to master's. And he tells people today the reason why he went to Morehouse School of Religion. I remember him asking me when we were in American Baptist College, we were going to graduate with my bachelor's degree. And I remember him asking me, where are you going to go? Are you going to go to Vanderbilt University? American Baptist is in Nashville. He asked me, where are you going to go? You going to Vanderbilt? Where are you? And so I told him, I'm going to Morehouse School of Religion. And then he ended up going to Morehouse School of Religion. Well, he tells people today the reason why he went there is because he knew I was going. And if I was going and he was there, I was going to help him get out. And, I had no idea if that, would help. So I got really good grades. There was sometimes I was kind of foolish because my boys, my partners didn't get good grades. And, I took, the classes that I took. I was serious about school. I loved school. I absolutely loved school. Hated summer vacation because school was where my people were, and all of my people were in summer school because they failed, that kind of thing. So, but I ended up, at some point, I started missing questions on tests so I wouldn't get an A. To try to, so my brothers wouldn't think, back in that time, you just want to be white and you try to be white and that kind of thing, because white was considered, you're studious and you talk good and all that kind of stuff. You talk well. And so I started missing questions that I knew the answer to just so I wouldn't hear it. Then I was like, forget this. They're coming to me for me to give them help. Why am I going to dumb myself down for them? So yeah, but I got good grades.
How did you overcome that being called white? What, because you was a good student, because you made good grades?
I just got tired of trying to live up to their, But I guess I said, I'm like, you're coming to me, asking me to help you pass a test or whatever, or write a paper, whatever the case may be. But then you're going to criticize me for getting A's. The reason why you're coming to me is because I'm getting A's,
right?
And so I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Just going to get my, And then, the other side of it is the reason why I got the A's is because, and I studied a lot because, I was the kid that they said would never amount to anything, was no good. So I'm like, what? I'm going to prove them wrong. I had something to prove. And so, I majored in getting the best grades that I could get just to prove people wrong when they said that I was never, going to amount to anything.
Wow.
Tell them, look at you now.
There you go. There you go.
Got all your nice cars and everything. You're doing good. So besides basketball, like you mentioned earlier, did you play any other sports in school?
Played little football, played Little League football, that kind of thing. Went out for high school football, played high school football, and wide receiver was my position. And going out, catching the football and everything. I remember there was one game. I played one game. 2 games. I played 2 games. And the second game, I caught the ball, went up, caught the ball, jumped, caught the ball, and somebody hit me up under my legs. And I flipped in the air 2.5 times, landed on my back, knocked the air out of me. But I held on to the ball. When they did get me up, when I did get up, I handed the coach the ball and I walked off the field. I ain't been on the football field no more. I'm like, I'm out here for the girls. I ain't out here to get killed. So I that was it for me. I was just honest about it. That's what the girls like. That's what I did. I was like, they like me anyway, so ain't no way. I ain't killing myself out here. That was it. That was my football career.
How many girls did you get?
We not talking about that, man. We not talking about that. You know, forgetting those things which are behind you. Reaching to those.
I like that. I like that. So
Okay.
you say you played wide receiver. What was your position in basketball?
Basketball, the school I went to was a magnet school.
Okay.
And I was the senior class president of our second graduating class. We only had 86 students.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was a new school. And so I was because it was a magnet school, it wasn't the big, university, a big school. I was the tallest person on the basketball court. So I played forward and center at the same time, basically. Because I was not because I was that good or anything, it's just that I was the tallest.
So were you good?
I played. I played. That's it. No, I mean I went out for Syracuse University's team. Syracuse, and when I graduated from high school, and Coach Boeheim, who's still the coach right now, Syracuse University's basketball team. He when I went out to try out, he got my name and 2 other guys' names, told us we could get in and practice with the team and get into the games and everything. He said if somebody got hurt, he would give us a shot. So I was all right, but I knew basketball I wasn't that good.
Right.
I was nowhere near good enough to go into the NBA. I played basketball because it was fun. That's what we did. You go out, you get on the park, and you play, and that was it. But I was not that good. I wasn't good enough to be wasn't good enough to be college or NBA, qualifier.
So do you think if you would have kept going that you would have been that good?
No, I was in school. I went to Syracuse University for broadcasting and psychology. I wanted to be a radio DJ, which I did. I DJ'd on Syracuse University's campus, the campus radio station. And I went there to broadcasting. I wanted to be a radio DJ. My plan was to be a radio DJ, then program director for the radio station because I wanted to work my way up. And then I wanted to own my own radio station. And then my plan was to have like a syndicated station across the East Coast, that kind of thing. Something like a Tom Joyner with Tom Joyner, Ricky Smiley, and that kind of thing is what they're doing now. But, I wanted to kind of do that kind of thing. But then also went for psychology because I wanted to be a psychiatrist. And so I thought about, go to psychology classes and then going to medical school and getting a medical degree and becoming a psychiatrist. And so that was kind of my plans until the Lord called me to preach and messed all that up.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're happy that he called you.
Well, I listen. I'm living the life I was born to live.
Exactly.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you never failed any classes.
I feel so.
Okay.
No. I mean, no, that's not true. I didn't fail one. Physics in college. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I love
Oh,
physics.
man.
I'm talking about physics in high school.
Oh, okay. No, physics. I took physics 2 times. Got a C, and I'm sure that the teacher gave me a C because he liked me, because I was trying. I got a C the first time. I took it the second time. Got a C the second time. I was just not good at physics, which also said you're not going to medical school. So that was that medical career gone also. But yeah, physics. I got a C both times I took it. Could not get physics. Just couldn't get it.
I love physics.
Man, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. That was not my thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your favorite subject then?
I love science. I love science. Science and history. Science and history. So you asked me my favorite. Probably my favorite is history. I absolutely love history. Greek, Roman history, that kind of thing. Love history. That's why, when I went to, when I worked on my master's, my focus was on 2 areas. It was in the Old Testament and ethics. And ethics is like theology, that kind of thing. But the Old Testament, I love the Old Testament because it's history, and so history was probably my favorite. But then I absolutely love science, astrology. I get those confused. Astrology, that kind of thing. Because I wanted to be, when I was when I was in middle school, I thought I was going to be the first black astronaut. And then a guidance counselor told me I was too tall because you had to be 5'6" at that time, 5'6" and under to be an astronaut. And they said I was too tall. So that killed my dreams of being an astronaut. But, you know, of course, they were not thinking, and I was not thinking that we're going to have one day have space shuttles and it's not going to be this little capsule that they, you know. But yeah, I love dealing with, you know, stars and all that kind of, absolutely love it. Yeah.
Who was your favorite teacher growing up in school?
Miss Mosier. Miss Mosier in high school. I have books in my office right now called The Great Books. I used to go in, she was an English teacher, white lady, but just loved Black students. I mean, she just gave her all. She would invite us to her house and that kind of thing, and feed us. Miss Mosier, those books, I would go in because I love reading. So, and then, you know, philosophy, that kind of thing. So I would get the book, Aristotle's books, and I would get Plato, Socrates, and read their writings. I would just borrow those books. When I graduated, Miss Mosier said, "You're the only person who's ever come to read these books." She gave me the whole set. So I got them in my office right now. This set is valuable. I mean, not just because she gave it to me, it is actually a value. You can't, to find that set now and pay for it, you're gonna pay thousands of dollars. It's that valuable. Miss Mosier taught me how to use chopsticks. We would take me to restaurants. We would go to a Chinese restaurant in Canada and taught me how to use chopsticks. She took me to my first opera. She took me, Stephanie Mills was Dorothy in The Wiz. She took me to the play to see Stephanie Mills before Stephanie Mills was blown up. And I saw Stephanie Mills play Dorothy in The Wiz. Miss Mosier took me there. I mean, she cultured me. I mean, she was just a wonderful, beautiful lady. She is my favorite teacher. No question.
She had a very big impact on your life.
Oh, major impact on my life. And she was, you know, she's one of those persons who believed in me when I didn't even believe in me. When everybody else, as I said, didn't believe in me. She would just, you know, you can do it and all that kind of thing. And she saw that I wanted to learn. I really wanted to learn. And so she helped me with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Turning to like the more of the personal side a little bit, what was your first car? And when did you?
My first car was a Nova SS. Man, I wish I had that car now. Fast. Okay, don't do this, but we used to race. Because it's Nova. Anybody who knows Nova SS, that car, it was a beast. It was a beast. And so there's this bridge called Skyway in Buffalo, and it goes from Buffalo into like Niagara Falls and that kind of thing. Went to not Niagara Falls. What is it? I can't think of it. Grand something. I can't think of it. But it's a bridge. There's a light there, and this bridge, when the wind blows, you know, Buffalo is cold and everything. When the wind blows, it was held by cables, and it would sway. And there's a light at the before you get on to Skyway, big, long. It's about 1.5 miles long, and then another light at the base of it. And so what we would do is, don't y'all do this. We would get at the light. Those who are going to race would stay at the light, and we would back traffic up. If light would turn green, we wouldn't move. Horns blowing or whatever. We would back traffic up, because if you back the traffic up, police can't get to you because there's only 2 lanes. and so we would do that, and we would number, like, maybe we're gonna leave on the 5th green light, that kind of thing. So you back traffic up to the 5th green light, and when the 5th green light comes, pow, you hit it. Man, I won so much money. We had fun. We had fun. I'm telling you, that Nova SS, and people would just ride up to you and you know, rev their engine or whatnot. You knew what that meant. And challenge, got to go. Nova SS.
So would you say a Nova SS today is like a
Charger.
or a Challenger?
Before there was a Dodge Charger, there was the Nova SS. And if I had my Nova SS today, it would beat every Dodge Charger out there.
I'll catch you in the street.
I promise. My Mini will beat a Dodge. Okay, maybe that's not. Maybe not. But anyway, I'm telling anybody who knows Nova SS, oh man, that was the car. That was the car. Yeah, that was my first car.
What color was yours?
It was red. It was like a burgundy. Yeah, it's like a red, a little darker than red. Yeah, there you go. It's like a ruby.
Is it a 2-door or a 4-door?
It's a 2-door car. Two-door
Oh,
car,
yeah.
but big back seat and all that kind of, man. I'm
Did
reminiscing.
you finish your head getting in?
No, Nova SSC, that's when they made cars for big people too. You know, now they made cars smaller, but Nova SS, that was the car.
Do you still race?
No, I don't race. I'm Bishop. I don't race.
You heard it with fans now.
Yeah, we did hear that you like driving fast.
All right. We're moving on to the next question.
So,
Let me just put it this way. I have broken the occasional speed limit a few times
only.
on the way here. Anyway, let's go on.
So everybody knows that you're a big Prince fan.
You know it.
Why
Definitely.
is that? What is it about?
Prince is, and no disrespect to any other, Prince was an artist. And by that, I mean, there's some people who are entertainers. There's some people who can sing, some people who are entertainers. Prince is the only musician that I know of that could play every instrument, you know, and learn without a teacher. He just taught himself how to play. Could play every instrument, could sing every part, the backup and the lead, of course. Producer, this man was a genius. I mean, all the musicians agree, this man was a genius. There's no question about it. There's some people who are entertainers, some people who are singers, some people who are musicians. He was all of that.
Can you sing your favorite song by him?
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Well,
But
what
it
is
is
your favorite
Adore.
song?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something.
Let's get into it.
You got Beyonce, you got all these other people. Let me tell y'all, there's no greater love song than Adore.
I'm gonna listen to
Check
that
this
on
out. Check this out. Until the end of time, I'll be there for you. You're on my heart and mind. I truly adore you. If God one day struck me blind, your beauty I'd still see. Because love is too weak to define just what you mean to me. God, you know what? Give me Prince. Give me some Prince. That's poetry. That is poetry. That's Prince.
Let's go listen to that on the way home. Doing the speed limit.
That's poetry. Doing the speed limit.
Doing the
You
speed
do the
limit.
speed limit now.
When did you first start listening to Prince?
Oh man, I was a teenager. Prince got his first contract with Warner Brothers at age 16. I think Prince would have been, I'm 58, 63 now. So I must have been 12 years old. And he came out with his first album. From that point on, it was Prince.
Okay.
Yeah, no
So
question.
Prince has literally been your favorite artist since you was
And
12.
probably will always be my favorite. Probably will always be. Just because, again, you know, the giftedness of this man, phenomenal.
Okay, Bishop. So my question for you is, how did you become a pastor?
Okay. Okay. I was, again, out in the street doing my thing. And anybody who knows anything about, there's some people who go into the ministry, you know, as a career, that kind of thing. I don't believe in that. I was out in the street, I was doing my thing, and literally, the Lord gave me, I had what I call now a breakdown, because God just started breaking me down. As I said, I was popular, a lot of friends, girlfriends, all that kind of stuff. But, and so I kind of got into myself. You know, I was kind of feeling myself. And the Lord just said, I'm gonna show you who you really are. And he just kind of, he humbled me. That's the best way to say it. He humbled me. And then one morning, about 3 o'clock in the morning, the Lord woke me up and it's like I saw a movie. And I'm gonna share something, not many people know this. It's like I saw a movie. This is what the Lord said. This is where you come from. And I saw myself as a child and things that I did. You know, I was carried in the march from Selma to Montgomery by my aunt, who dropped me when she was hit in the back of the head with the billy club. And then my cousin picked me up and ran me to my grandmother's house. I vaguely remember that chaos, and I was not 2 years old. Vaguely remember that chaos and people screaming, that kind of thing. And my cousin carried me in her arms. The Lord showed me that and just showed me where I had been as my growing up. And then the Lord said, this is where you are. And he showed me where I was in my breakdown, and what was happening in my life. And then he showed me, he said, this is where I'm going to take you. And he showed me, I don't know if it was the full thing, but glimpses of my future. Now this is almost eerie. I know, of course, my past. I know where I was. But there are certain things that happen in my life where I come in, it's like a deja vu kind of thing, where I see stuff, I see things, and I know that this is where I'm supposed to be because this is what God showed me. That's the same thing that happened when Reverend Wright brought me into the sanctuary of Macedonia. Reverend Wright told me, I was preaching at Thankful Baptist Church. He wanted, he asked to have lunch with me. We had lunch together. Reverend Wright was the former pastor of Macedonia. And Reverend Wright, we had lunch and he said, I'll take you by the church. And he brought me to the church. And when he brought me, we went into his office, went in the side door to his office. He brought me up into the sanctuary. And when I saw the sanctuary, I knew I was going to pastor Macedonia because that's what God showed me. So I can't remember everything that God showed me about this is where you're going. But when I run up against something, I know this is where I'm supposed to be because this is what God showed me. Yeah.
So you knew that you were supposed to be with us forever.
I ain't saying forever now. Okay, all right, forever. But I didn't finish. Okay, so the Lord, after the Lord showed me that, he said, now go and preach my word. And it's amazing, this amazing testimony. He said, go and preach my word. And I fell on my knees and I said, I'll go where you want me to go. I'll do what you want me to do. I'll say what you want me to say. I'll do what you want me to do. This was about 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, my pastor, I was going to call him. My thing is, I'm going to wait until 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to call him. 9 o'clock is what I said initially. And I'll call him and tell him the Lord has called me to preach. I couldn't get back to sleep because I'm just crying and praying and all that kind of stuff. Now, this is Snoop crying and praying. This is not, this ain't Bishop Fuller now. This just broke me down and I'm going to preach. So I said 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, I said, it's taking too long to get to 9 o'clock. I said 8 o'clock. I said, he's probably up at 8 o'clock. And as time is going by, it's taking too long. I said, well, he's probably up at 7 o'clock too. So I would call him at 7 o'clock. Still taking too long, 6 o'clock. I ended up calling at 5:30. And this is what happened. I called his house, pastor's house at 5:30, because I'm going to tell him the Lord called me to preach. His wife answered the phone and until they were asleep, and I said, Miss Flood, I'm sorry to call so early. Can I speak to Pastor Flood, please? And she said, okay, all right. All right, great, all right. And she apparently shook him or something like that. And she said, Richard, his name was Richard Flood. She said, Richard, Greg Fuller's on the phone. He said, don't tell me. And then he got the phone and his words to me was, the Lord called you to preach to me. I said, yeah. And he said, the Lord told me in a dream tonight. The Lord had told him to confirm. God always confirms his word. He said, don't tell me. The Lord called you to preach, didn't he? I said, yes. And I just started crying. He said, amen. And that kind of thing. I can't remember what he said because when he told me, that was confirmation. God always confirms his word. Somebody, whatever God has called you to do, somebody else will confirm it. Yeah. So that's deep.
Deep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be that deep. But anyway, we having fun. Let's go back to the fun.
Okay, so we know that you aren't originally from the South. What made you move to?
Well, again, I am originally from South Alabama. But what made our family go to Buffalo, New York, as far north as they can go without going into Canada. My father, probably like myself, that's probably where I get it from. My father got into, he was driving a car, Selma, Alabama. He got into a physical fight with a white guy over a parking spot. Apparently, the white guy was waiting for a car to pull out. My father pulled into the parking spot, got out of the car. The white guy said something, called my father. Okay. You don't do that with my dad.
You're right.
Okay, now, but see, the thing is, this was 1964, and they did call it. And my father, they had some words and whatnot, and then my father and he tussled a little bit, wrestled kind of. And then, my father left or whatever case may be. Now, that happened in the morning. My mother's brother, this is my mother and my father were married. My mother's brother was a shoe shine guy, shining shoes in a barbershop, and a white barbershop. And he was shining shoes, and two white guys come in. He's shining the shoes of one. Another white guy said, we're going to go and get this on Water Avenue. He got into a fight with the Grand Wizard, called the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, and called his name. And my uncle was just, they're not knowing that this is my uncle, that my father's brother-in-law. And so he's just listening and whatnot. After he got finished shining your shoes, he hurried up, got out of there, went to my grandmother's house, where my father and my mother was staying at the time, said, get you and your family out of town now. They're coming for you tonight. And he told them what happened. My mother and my father took off, threw stuff in the car and drove as far as they could go north without going into Canada, ended up in Buffalo, New York. Now, they left me there because, didn't have a home or anything, didn't know where we were going to live. And I stayed there with my grandmother for another 2 years until they got settled and that kind of thing. So that's what brought us to Buffalo, New York, because my father got into a fight with Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan.
Okay, so how did you end up coming back to the South?
I came back because of school, Nashville, Tennessee, where I went to school, American Baptist College, started pastoring Mount Zion Baptist Church in Smyrna, Tennessee, which is out in the suburb of Nashville, and then was called to pastor the church in Macon, and then now here.
That's great. So, like you said, just tell us about your father and how he's had to experience racism. Have you ever had to experience?
I've been called, hands against the wall. Got to, when walking, what you doing in this neighborhood? All that kind of stuff. Like this brick right here, hands against. So I got to, hands against the wall, and they frisk you. What you doing in this neighborhood? You don't belong here. All that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what we had to deal with. But see, the thing is, it didn't just happen with white cops. It happened with black cops also, because black people can be just as racist or bigoted or ignorant, stupid as other people. And so some of the people we got to look out for more than anything else are not the other folk, it's our own folks. And so I've had that happen with even black cops.
That's sad to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, enough of the sad stuff.
There you go. There you go.
So we know you like to ride your motorcycle and you like to go over the speed limit and stuff.
Why you keep saying that?
What other fun stuff do you do all the time?
Okay. Fun stuff. Legal fun stuff. Not that I do a lot of illegal stuff, but anyway, I read. I like reading. I say it all the time. Readers lead and leaders read. So I read. I read a lot of different stuff. What else? That's really it. I don't do a whole lot. Especially with COVID. I really don't do a lot. I enjoy my travels, ministering out of the country, going to Africa and that kind of thing. Talked to Pastor Gerald today from South Africa, and he's excited about me coming back there in September. I love going to Africa. Is my heart. Africa is my heart. Those are my people. And my heart bleeds for where Africa is right now because of COVID and the drought in various countries and that kind of thing. You asked me about fun stuff, but I love going to Africa. That's like home for me. I tell people, most people leave home to go to work. I leave work to go home. And by that I mean, America is like where I work. But when I get home, when I get to Africa, I'm home. And that's my joy. Yeah.
Okay, so you said you like to read. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book. Now, Bishop is supposed to say the Bible. Okay, I'm not Bishop, but I do a lot of religious reading and that kind of thing. My favorite book, though, wow, I read so much. I don't know if I have a favorite book. I can't say, because a favorite one is one that you would read, on a regular basis or something like that. I don't know if I have a favorite book, but I love philosophy. So like I said, the Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, all that kind of stuff. I have a favorite subject. My favorite subject, of course, history, but then philosophy. So that's what I do.
Okay, that's nice.
That's nice. She was looking for something juicy. Ain't nothing juicy in that. Yeah.
So, as a Christian, what advice would you give to us young people when it comes to dating or friendships?
Oh, man. All right. Dating. First of all, never give away more. Never give away today what you're going to want back tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't give away your character. Don't give away your integrity. Never give away today what you're going to wish you had back later on. Reverend Wright said something to me. I'll never forget. Reverend Wright said, never do anything today that you don't want to see in the papers tomorrow. you know, and so that kind of governs what you do, and you know, those, you know, I can say a whole lot of things. Dating, chances are the people that you all date today are not the people you're going to marry. And the reason I say that is because you're growing, you're going to grow out of some things, you're going to grow into some things, and the other person's going to be growing, hopefully, also. And your dreams, your aspirations, your desires for your lives, in many cases, will go in different directions. And so I go back to saying, never give away today what you wish you'll have back later on.
Yeah.
That's actually good advice.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
I do all right every now and then.
turning to real world issues, we've had a lot of shootings in the U.S. lately.
Yeah.
So where were you when you heard about the shooting in Buffalo at Tops Grocery Store?
Actually, my brother was the second cop to go into, or to get there at the scene. And he texted me and my other brother, praying because there's a shooting, there's a shooter in Tops, and we used to go to that Tops. We used to shop there, that kind of thing. So I was actually at home on my way, literally getting ready to get in my car to come to the church, and he texted me that. And so when I got to the church, turned on the news, saw it on CNN, but he texted before it even got out on the news that this is what was happening.
Wow, how did that affect you?
Well, I mean, that's home. You know, Buffalo was, you know, again, I know that Tops, been there, you know, we shopped there and that kind of thing. All of it, you know, all of the killings right now, even in Augusta, in this area here, I am tired of seeing our brothers in particular, you know, paraded on the news, their pictures on mugshots and everything, because they did something foolish. That's, you know, it's heart wrenching, and you know, if it doesn't affect you, you're not human. You know, especially with the mass killing, and you know, how the governor of Georgia can, you know, sign a bill allowing everybody who's legal to carry a gun when these kids are getting shot and whatnot. You know, that even if, you know, people who carry guns feel a sense of vulnerability and also boldness. A person who's arguing without a weapon is more likely to walk away. A person who's arguing with a weapon is more likely to use it. It's foolish for us to be carrying weapons. Yeah.
Okay. And so this month we have some events planned to help prepare our members to protect themselves. How do you feel about those events coming up?
That's the reason why we're doing it, because of everything going on. You know, we've got the firearm safety. Every person who has a firearm needs to know how to use it, needs to know how to lock it, store it, and that kind of thing, so children or whatever case don't get it. Everybody who has a firearm needs to know how to use it safely. The second is and I'm really excited about this one for our sisters, Fight Like a Girl, because I want our sisters to be protected. I want our sisters to know how to defend themselves in case of, you know, anything happening and that kind of thing. Because people are just violent right now. They don't have a heart, and they're uncaring. I want our sisters to be protected. And then again, if you have a firearm, you need to know how to fire it also. Most people and police officers will tell you that if I put a target 10 feet away, 10 feet is, you know, less than here to that wall, and you have a firearm, you'll shoot, but you won't even hit the target.
That's true.
Because most people don't know how to use a firearm, and so they can end up hurting an innocent bystander trying to get somebody who's aggressive to them. And you got to know, if you have these weapons, you got to know how to use them.
Okay.
So speaking on how you said how everyone's just able to carry them, did you hear about the recent shooting happened yesterday? Or I think yesterday or the day before?
Which one?
The one in Indiana at the mall.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You know, there's an epidemic in America of gun violence. And, you know, there's one segment of the community that wants to say, well, it's mental illness. Well, they got mental illness in other countries also, but you don't see people, you know, going to malls and shooting people. It's not a mental illness issue. And they'll say, you know, guns don't kill people, people kill people. People with guns kill people.
Exactly.
You know, and so, you know, this doesn't make any sense. You're going to say it's mental, you know, it's a mental illness problem. There's mental illness all over the world, but people are not going into schools and killing children. It only happens in America.
Never thought about it from that point of view.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Such a deep.
Yes.
So one thing that we love about you being our bishop is that you love us back, not just the kids, but everybody in the church. So how long have you been pastoring and loving
Wow.
the church?
I've been pastoring since I was 24. I'm 58 now. So what is that?
A long time.
Long time. Come on, y'all are good at math and
This is
physics.
summertime.
And all right, I got you. All right, too late here right now. Yeah, so I started when I was 24, and I've been pastoring ever since. Ever since then. So I love. Yeah, a young person did a research paper, used me as in my former church at Macon, and used me as the subject. And he asked, "What would you be doing if you were not pastoring?" And my response right away was, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be living, because I can't. This is it. This is what I was born for. You know, I can't imagine doing anything other than, well, I shouldn't say pastoring, ministry.
Right.
You know, because it's not just the pastor. I can't imagine doing anything else. I love watching people's lives be transformed. I love being able to help, people come together and that kind of thing. Just living their best life. You know, that turns me on. You know, being able that God would use me of all people, to be a blessing in somebody else's life. It's no greater feeling than when God uses you to bless somebody else. It really is. That's what it's about.
I'm assuming you're going to be pastoring for like 20, 30 more years. So when you finally do decide to retire, like I said, 30 years down the road, what do you plan to do?
You know, at one point I thought I'm going to move back home, Africa. Yeah, I thought I'd retire and go to South Africa.
You going to take us with you?
Y'all want to come visit?
No.
Live.
I said visit. Oh no, you can't live with me now. Oh no. Check-in time is after 5. Check-out time is 12 noon. Let's get it straight. No, really, I thought, at one point, and I still might retire and go to Africa.
I hope.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to definitely come visit.
Do you have a plan B?
Plan B, not really. I mean, I'll be here in someplace where y'all will put me up in a nice, home overlooking the ocean, and and just walk the sands and enjoy.
So in other words, what?
Florida, or you know what? I love Charleston. I love Charleston. So maybe Charleston.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I would love to.
We gonna come
visit
visit you then.
You live with me?
Yeah,
Oh
live with
no, y'all, I'm not giving y'all the address.
So where do you see the church going from now? Like, since we're still in COVID, but it's kind of somewhat of a close, like that gray area.
And that's a question that everybody is asking, and the answer is I have no idea. You asked me where the church is going. The church is evolving, and for me to say we're going here is to put it in a box. And so we're evolving, and we're evolving because everything is changing, and it's changing rapidly, and it's changing weekly, if not daily. And so what the church's responsibility is to minister to people where they are. Not for us to try to determine where they are, but to minister to people right where they are. My thing is helping people to grow. If I can just help people to grow in whatever situation you're in, help you, and my helping you to grow may be different than my helping you to grow, because you're going different directions. And so I think that's what the church is about: seeking and saving the lost, helping people to grow right where they are, to live the life they were born to live. That's it.
What future plans do you have to help people, I guess, in our area, in Augusta?
Again, that depends on what the needs are. I mean, listen, we're doing this, the fight like a girl thing, that's necessary. When you got an old elderly woman who's at the mall, hit in broad daylight, hit with a gun and robbed and that kind of thing, fight like a girl thing. We got to get involved in the political system and everything. We got to put the right people in the right seats, and so the church has got to get involved in that. We got to get involved in the economic system, because gas prices being the way they are, food prices being the way they are, we got to do what we can. Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you. So it's not one or two things. It's everything. There's mountains And I don't know if you don't know about the 7 mountains. There's media, education, politics, economics, all of that kind of thing. These are mountains. We got to get involved in all of the mountains and try to make them, try to make it so that we are taking authority of the mountains, and the mountains are not taking authority of us.
Okay. So now that we know a lot about you, got all up in your tea, spoke a little bit, is there anything that you want to ask us?
Y'all
I
did
got
a
one
great
more
job.
thing to give
What you got? What you got?
If you had just one way to change the world, what would be that way you make a difference?
Everybody would accept Jesus as Lord and Savior. And, let me say it another way. Everybody would accept Jesus as their Savior, and everybody would allow him to be Lord. Because Savior is, he's the one that died and was resurrected for us. But Lord is, he's the one that governs our lives. If everybody did that, this world would be completely different.
I agree with
That's completely true.
That's it.
Okay, now is there anything?
No,
That you would
listen,
like
y'all
to
did a
know?
great job taking over my show and everything. And don't get no ideas, because y'all doing this one time and then y'all getting out. This is mine. But no, y'all did a great job. And there's nothing I want to ask you. I do want to say this to you all, and then the other young people at Macedonia. I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm serious. I'm really proud of you. Y'all are graduating and in school. You all are doing so many wonderful things. I've not had to go to the court to get any young person from Macedonia, speak on behalf of any young person in Macedonia to a judge. I've not had to do that since I've been pastor. I'm serious, and I've done that at other churches. The other churches I've done that for other people. I've not, you all are mannerable. You all are kind. When we call for you all to do things, community service, going to the food. Come on.
Go to Harvest.
Golden Harvest, what is it?
The food bank.
The food bank, but also where they feed
The soup
people.
kitchen?
The soup kitchen, yeah, that thing. Y'all are there. Whenever we call for y'all to do something, y'all are there, but not there grumbling and complaining. Y'all are there and excited. I mean, that's representative of your parents, but it's also representative of Macedonia. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to tell the camera or the people out there?
So I want my show back, but and,
That's a
don't
strong
don't take anything that I said. Don't hold it against me, because y'all know I'm still got a little Snoop in me. But but no.
I'm very trying to fight these people.
No, I ain't fighting nobody. But if you
Don't be speeding.
anyway. But no. Listen. Thank you all for joining us. And I thank my young brothers and sisters here, for blessing me with taking me back, and also holding me accountable for who I am in their lives as well.
Thank you, Bishop Fuller, for allowing us to interview. It was great and it was fun. Okay, this concludes our youth edition of Conversations on 3,
2,
1.
Peace.
Peace.